Hola, hola. ¿Cómo estás? How are you guys doing? Hope you're doing very, very well. Welcome to our fourth lesson. Bienvenidos. Welcome. Hope you're having a good Saturday or whatever day and time it is for you as you're watching this lesson here. I'm excited to get started. So, as per usual, let's do some review to kick things off. So we'll do a review in a similar fashion as usual. So I'll ask you some different questions. I'll say some different words. I'll make some different sentences, and let's see if you guys are able to understand. By the way, as a reminder, I say it every time. In the description below, you're going to find the note file, the Google Doc file with all of the notes that we've covered so far. Feel free to, in fact, please open that document and have it open in a separate tab. Obviously, keep your attention primarily on the YouTube screen. We'll be using this Blackboard where I'll give different notes and we'll do different things, but I might from time to time direct your attention to the Google Doc note file, which is obviously found in the description. So let's go. Entonces, I'll do a quick self-introduction as I often do, and let's see if you guys can follow along. Entonces, hola, ¿cómo estás? Yo soy Azren. Soy canadiense, pero mi familia es de la India. So let's try that. I've never said any of that before, so I'll repeat it. So, hola, ¿cómo estás? Yo soy Azren. So I'll just write this out just in case. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hola, ¿cómo estás? This one we've done a million times. Hopefully you know this already. Hola, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Hey, how are you? Soy Azren. Soy Azren. Y soy canadiense. Soy canadiense, pero mi familia es de la India. Okay, this is mostly stuff that you guys have seen. Most of this is not new. Most of this is okay, but I'll show you regardless, right? And then some of there's a couple little new things, but nothing major. So, hola, ¿cómo estás? Hi, how are you? Soy Azren. I'm Azren. Y soy canadiense, and I'm Canadian. Pero mi familia es de la India, right? So, pero, I think we've seen it a couple times, but it's not something we've spent like a crazy amount of time on. Pero means but, right? So, but, blah, 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 blah. So, pero, see some people hopping on live. Hola, hola. But, mi familia means my family. My family. Okay? Right here. So, pero, mi familia es de la India. So I'm Canadian, but my family is from India, right? Qué bien. Let me ask you this. ¿De dónde eres tú? ¿De dónde eres tú? Right? ¿De dónde eres? We've seen this a million times. Do you remember what it means? Hopefully you do. ¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? I hope you remember this one, right? ¿De dónde eres is where are you from, right? ¿De dónde eres tú? You. Where are you from? Tú. ¿De dónde eres tú? Right? Hopefully you remember how to reply. What would you say? Feel free to pause and think about it. You would say, soy de, and your country. This is not new. Let me throw you for a twist. ¿De dónde es tu familia? Again, we've done similar questions to this. This is all review, but good to always review. ¿De dónde es tu familia? ¿De dónde es tu familia? Right? ¿De dónde es tu familia? ¿De dónde es tu familia? So where is your family from? right? And how would you answer? Again, feel free to hit pause and think about it while I give you the answer and I write this out. You would say, mi familia es de, and whatever country, right? Mi familia es de, in my case, la India, maybe Canada, maybe, I don't know, Inglaterra, right? England, Inglaterra. We've seen Inglaterra before, right? Inglaterra, or Francia. Francia means France, or I don't know, wherever your family is from. Okay. So we're doing our review. And let's continue. I'll continue a self-introduction. Let's see if you guys understand. So, hola, ¿cómo estás? Soy Azren, me llamo Azren. Soy canadiense, pero mi familia es de la India. We haven't done that one. Hoy estoy muy contento. Hoy estoy muy contento. Do you understand? Hoy estoy muy contento. I'll write it just in case. All words we've seen before. Hoy estoy muy contento. No estoy triste. Hoy no estoy triste. Hoy no estoy triste. Right? Hoy estoy muy contento. Hoy no estoy triste. Right? What does that mean? All words we've seen. Today, I am very happy. Today, no, I am sad. So today, I'm not sad. Okay? Excelente. ¿Cómo estás tú? Right? How are you doing? Tell me, talk to your computer screen. Maybe write it out. Maybe if you want during this video while it's playing, hit me up, send me a message to Instagram, Snapchat, send me a voice message. Tell me how you are doing today. Give me 1 or 2 quick sentences, right? ¿Y cómo te llamas? Right? ¿Cómo te llamas y cuál es tu trabajo? Let's put 2 questions in one. ¿Cómo te llamas y cuál es tu trabajo? Okay? ¿Cómo te llamas? Hopefully you know this. If not, we'll review it again. ¿Cómo te llamas y cuál es tu trabajo? Send me a voice message telling me that. Say, oh, my name is this. Oh, sorry. Tell me, answer the question, right? ¿Cómo te llamas y cuál es tu trabajo? Right, what does that mean? ¿Cómo te llamas y cuál es tu trabajo? I'll say it a little slower. ¿Cómo te llamas y cuál es tu trabajo? Right? ¿Cómo te llamas y cuál es tu trabajo? So, what's your name? And what is your job? What do you do for work? Right? So how would you answer? You would say what? Again, feel free to pause and think about it. You need to clean this little blackboard. It's all got a little dust marks and stuff on it. Gotta clean those off. You would say, me llamo, and your name, y soy, and your profession. Okay, me llamo, and your name. Me llamo Azren, me llamo whatever, y, and soy, and whatever your job is. Right? Excelente. Let's review some of the job titles we've seen. How would we say, for example, a lawyer? Right? What do we call a lawyer? What's that? What do we call that type of person? We call them a abogado, right? Un abogado. Or if it's a girl, una abogada. What about a waiter? What do we say for waiter? We say mesero. Or, of course, mesera for females, right? How do we say, ¿cómo se dice writer? ¿Cómo se dice writer? Do you remember cómo se dice means? So we haven't seen that in ages. In fact, I wonder if we even covered it. Let me just do a quick find function in my Google Doc. Yep, we did it. Yep, ¿cómo se dice? I think I said fireman. Is that what I said? ¿Cómo se dice? Oh no, I said writer. ¿Cómo se dice writer en español? En español. This is the very useful, right? ¿Cómo se dice writer en español? How do you say writer, right? We say escritor. So as a reminder, ¿cómo se dice English word en español means how do we say blah, 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 blah in Spanish. So ¿cómo se dice waiter en español? We say escritor. ¿Cómo se dice engineer en español? What's the word for engineer? ¿Cómo se dice engineer? Ingeniero. ¿Cómo se dice gardener en español? We say jardinero. ¿Cómo se dice secretary? Right? Again, if you need more time to think, I'm not giving you a lot of time to think. You're welcome to pause and think about it. We say secretario or secretaria for females, right? ¿Cómo se dice? Let's go into a different category altogether. ¿Cómo se dice mom and dad en español? ¿Cómo se dice mom and dad? Right, we learned those a while back. We say papa and mama, right? Papa and mama. Papa is dad, and mama is mom. Papa y mama. Papa, mama. Right? Mom and dad. All right. Okay, let's do some more review. I want you to hit pause on the video, and I want you to think of 5 different adjectives that you know. Okay, we've learned quite a few more than 5, something like 10 or 15, somewhere in that range. I forget the exact number. We've learned quite a few. But hit pause. I want you to think about 5 different adjectives you can think of. Okay, so I'll give you a couple to get you started. We have grande and pequeño. This is big and small. We have contento or feliz, right? Contento or feliz, both mean happy. I'll give you caro. Caro and cara means expensive. Caro for masculine objects, cara for feminine objects. What other ones do you know? Think of 5 more adjectives. Feel free to say them to the screen. In fact, if you want, send them. Oops, my phone almost fell. Feel free to send them over to me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, Snapchat. Feel free to send them over in text messages, voice messages. Feel free to send them over while you are watching this video. So hit pause, think about that, and then continue watching. Okay? So here's some adjectives. Last time we learned a lot of new words. We had a big vocabulary lesson, right? So how would we say, for example, let's do some practice sentences. What if you wanted to say something like you want to describe my phone, okay? Here's my phone. I want you to describe this phone. I want you to say this phone is, and then I want you to give me a couple of different things that you'd be able to say about it, right? Using the vocabulary you know. Okay, so everyone hit pause. Feel free to think about it. How do you say this phone is blah, 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 blah? A phone, in case you don't know, a cell phone, I'll give you the word for it. I don't think we've seen that word. Is celular, like cellular, celular, and it's masculine. So celular is a masculine word. It's un celular, masculine. Okay, so feel free to hit pause, think about that, and then come back. Okay, I'll give you a couple things we might be able to say about this phone. In fact, we could even introduce some new words while we're doing it. Okay, so we know the word for this. So we say what? Este celular es well, it's a pretty big phone, I think, as cell phones go. Es grande. Okay, es grande. All right, I'll show you here. Este celular es grande. I'll give you might already know this word. We haven't covered it, but negro. Negro means black. Es grande. Negro. Right? Es grande, negro. Let's do a couple more adjectives. Es, let's see. What other adjectives that we could use here? Es, It's not technically true, but we'll have some fun with this. Es and let's say inteligente. It's a smartphone, right? So it's inteligente. Ha 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 ha. Es inteligente. Right? We have our phone here. Muy bien. Let's do a little bit more review, and then we will jump into some new topics. So let's just do a rapid fire lightning round of some of the things we learned last time, some of the new words and everything. So what would we call a strawberry, right? What do we call that? We call it una what? Una fresa. Right? Una fresa is a strawberry. What about, we learned 3 different words for a car, right? Like vroom vroom. We had that in the Google Doc. We had the picture of the sports car that we put in there, right? What are the words we learned for car? We learned carro, we learned coche, and we learned auto. Carro, coche, auto. I'll write them just in case. Carro, these are all from last time. Coche, and we learned auto. All of these are different words for car. We have 3 words for car that are very common that are used quite a bit. Carro, coche, auto. Okay, carro, coche, auto. We learned some different colors last time. So we learned what? Red and green. I guess Christmas is kind of close to today. I mean, it's, well, not really. It's basically 2 months away, almost a little bit less than 2 months away as I'm recording this, but red and green are Christmas colors, right? We have what? Rojo, which is red. And what was the word for green? Do you remember? Verde. Green. Verde. Rojo y verde. We learned this last time. Rojo, verde. Okay. We learned the words for man and woman last time, right? We learned, how do we say man and woman? We say hombre for man, right? And what do we say for women, or woman, excuse me? We say mujer, mujer, which is woman. Man is hombre. We learn mujer for woman, right? Mujer, hombre. So I could say, for example, soy hombre. I'm a man. No soy mujer. No soy mujer. I'm not a woman. Right? We learned a very delicious food last time, a very sweet and yummy food. Remember which one that was? It was a cake. How do we say that? We say un pastel. Nothing to do with pastel, like in English, like the thing we used to color or write with. Un pastel is a cake. Un pastel. So pastel is a cake. Okay. Let me pop the Google Doc open. Did we learn other things here? Ah, yes, we learned another food, which falls into the fruit category. Right? A big melon, like a watermelon. Do you remember how to say that word? We say una what? Una, do you remember? Sandía. Una sandía. Una sandía is our watermelon. Muy bien. Let's do one last word, then we'll jump into some new content, which we'll learn today. See, this is a very important thing. In fact, we could have even learned this in the very first lesson, but we didn't. So if you meet someone new and you're like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Person says, estoy muy bien. Or they say bien, or they say whatever they say. You ask the person, oh, ¿cómo te llamas? They say, oh, me llamo Azren. ¿Y tú? The person says, oh, me llamo Sarah. Oh, and now you want to say, nice to meet you. What do you say? Do you remember it? We covered this one very quickly last time. We said, mucho gusto. Mucho gusto, right? Mucho gusto. Mucho gusto. Excelente. Okay, I think we've done enough review here. Let me write the timestamp. So 2010 looks like is the timestamp. Then I can make sure that's included in the link below. Timestamps 2010 end of review. Perfect. Beauty. So let's jump into some new content today and cover off some different topics that we've not seen yet. Okay. And I want to finish our conversation about the verb ser and estar. Okay. So we've been working a lot with these verbs. So ser, what have we learned about ser? Ser, we learned that we say what? How do we say? What does ser mean by itself? Do you remember? Ser by itself means to be. Okay. Now ser, depending on how we choose to use it, gets conjugated. Do you remember this? It gets broken down into different forms. So if I want to say I am, we say, do you remember? Oops, I wrote that wrong. We say yo. The yo is optional. We say yo soy, right? Or simply soy. We can omit the yo if we want to. So soy or yo soy. What do we learn for you are, right? So this is I am. I am. For you are, we learned tú, and again, the tú is optional. Eres. Right? We learned already tú eres. Again, the tú is optional. We are allowed to say simply eres, which is why in questions like de dónde eres, remember that question? Where are you from? De dónde eres? We have where, like you are, is in the question de dónde eres. All right. And then the last one we learned was he and she is. We learned él, ella, es. He and she is. We learned él, ella, es. Right? And again, the él and ella can be omitted. We are allowed to cancel that and ignore that portion there. This is allowed. He and she is. Él, ella, es. All right? We're going to build a little bit more on this verb ser. Right? We're going to add a few more columns that based on a few more different things. Okay? What if we want to say we are? Like you don't say I'm Canadian, you want to say we're Canadian. Right? Or no, you don't say I'm smart, you want to say we're smart. We say nosotros somos. So this is new. Okay, this is we are. Nosotros means we, like W-E. Somos means are, so we are. And as per always, nosotros is optional. Okay, somos. Nosotros somos. Okay. What if you want to say they are? Okay, let's learn that. We would say ellos or ellas son. They are. Okay. So this is new as well. So ellas, let's hold it over here. Ellos, ellas son. They are. Again, ellos and ellas is optional. Now, you might be wondering, why is it ellos and ellas? Why is there a slash? Well, ellos is used if you're referring to a group of people that are either all male or they are a mixture of male and female. So if you have a group of people with like 4 guys, 1 girl, or 4 girls, 1 guy, 2 girls, 2 guys, if there's a mixture of genders within a group of people, and you're like, oh, they are my friends, or something like that, you would use ellos. Ellas is used for a group of only females, so only girls, only women. So if you are if you're using the word they, and the whole group of people you are talking about are female, you use the word ellas or ellas. As a reminder as well, pronunciation note, you'll notice both these words have a double L. We have another double L up here. There's two ways we can pronounce this double L. Many people say y, so they'll pronounce this ellos, ellas. Many people will pronounce it ellos, ellas. So this double L can either be pronounced as a y or can be pronounced as a j, j or y. Both of these are equally acceptable, and they're both very, very commonly used across Spanish-speaking countries. There's no difference between the two. Ellos, ellas, or ellos, ellas. Okay. One more thing on nosotros. Let's go backwards one step. Nosotros is almost always the word you'll use. However, if you're using the word we, like we are smart, we are whatever, if the whole group of people you're referring to are all female, you're going to say nosotras. Nosotras. I wrote an A on top there. Okay. So if it was like me, I'm a girl, there's my friend with me, she's female, we have like a girls' night or something. Not to say, oh, nosotras, oops. I want to say, oh, we are so amazing. Nosotras somos muy whatever, right? Whatever you want to say. Okay, does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. There's one more here that I'm gonna introduce you to, which is, do I have space? I can probably write it up here. I'll make a little line. You can also say ustedes son. Ustedes son. Ustedes son means like you guys are. Okay, right up here. Ustedes son means you guys are. You guys meaning we don't really exactly have a great word for this, not a single word in English for ustedes. But let's say I'm talking to let's say this is a great example. All of you are watching this video. There's more than one person watching this video. There's more than one of you watching it, correct? And going through all these videos in this course. So there's more than one of you doing this. So if I want to address everybody watching this, I'm referring to you, and there's more than one of you. I'm referring to a group of you. So that is what ustedes means. When there's a group of people, and I'm addressing a group of people, we use the word ustedes. When we say ustedes son, again, as per every single one of these other pronouns and brackets, we are allowed to omit this ustedes. That is more than acceptable. Okay. One last thing I should mention, which is a word we don't actually have in English at all, is usted. Usted es. Usted. We also have usted. There we go. Usted es, which also translates to you are. Some people find this a little bit confusing because if you look over here, we also have tú eres for you are. So suddenly, why do we have usted es having the exact same meaning? Well, the reason is that if you say usted es, it also means you are, but it's way more formal. So usted es is generally used, you'll use this word usted, right? This formal version of you. You're going to use this word anytime you are speaking with either someone you want to show extra respect to. So let's say you're talking to, I don't know, like a government official or someone who is in higher social status than you, and very clear higher social status. You will use the word usted. Or with the general rule is that you'll use it with strangers and people you don't know. So again, usted you will use with people that are strangers and that you don't know, or people that you want to show extra respect to. Those are generally the two types of people that you use this word usted with. Okay. I will say this, and this is where things get a little bit mucky, unfortunately, when it comes to the Spanish-speaking world. There are so many countries that speak Spanish that there are various different, I suppose you could say, tendencies or preferences with this word usted versus tú. Like different, like this, like usted and tú. Certain countries, for example, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it is Colombia, maybe Colombia? I don't remember. There are definitely people I've spoken to where they just kind of default into usted very often when they speak to men. It's just something they do. They just kind of default into usted. They just do, and they default into it a lot. But there's other countries, like I remember when I went to Peru, even if I'd be walking on a street, I'd go into some market, and there's a stranger, there's a shopkeeper who owns a store. They're selling their wares, they're selling whatever they're selling, and they would address me without knowing my name, without knowing who I am, immediately in tú. And in fact, it wouldn't even just be just in tú. They would actually say, they call me amigo, like they'd say, pasa amigo, like come on in, my friend. I don't even know who the guy or girl would be. So that's where things can get a little bit murky in the Spanish-speaking world, that although usted is more formal and theoretically is used with strangers and people who you want to show extra respect to, and tú is used for friends, family, and people you know, despite that rule being a thing, there's different variations of that when you go into different Spanish-speaking countries. Not to mention that there's another word for you. There's actually a third word for you, which is not used everywhere, but it is used in certain places, which is the word vos. VOS, right? Vos. I think it's spelled VOS. Let me just double check, right? Is it VOS or VOZ or VOZ? I think it's VOS. Vos in Spanish. Please double check. Yes, vos is VOS, correct. That is how you spell it. So there's also the word vos, which is used in certain countries, which is another word for you. So it can get a little bit complicated with the different ways of saying you in Spanish. But the good news is that there's many pieces of good news. The first piece of good news is that, let's say you go to a country that prefers to use usted a lot, and they use a lot of usted, and you end up going there and you're using a lot of tú instead. You're not going to offend anyone. It's going to be totally fine. Additionally, everyone's still going to understand you, and there's not going to be any issue because you are a Spanish learner. They're not even going to view it as disrespectful. You're going to be just fine. Because if someone came from a different country that also defaults more into tú than usted, they're going to go to the country and face the same culture shock of like, oh, everyone's using usted. I'm used to using tú all the time. What the heck? Oh, this is different for me. Oh, I better, maybe I should adjust. So it's totally fine. My general rule of thumb, there's two different pathways you can follow. For Spanish, this is a Spanish-specific piece of advice. For me generally speaking, actually, I'm going to change this advice. I'm going to change it up. Generally speaking, if you're feeling unsure and you're like, ooh, should I use tú and be more informal, or should I use usted and be more formal? If you're ever on the fence and you're like, I don't know which way I should go, there's two ways to go about it. Either just use usted to be safe. Always better to be overly respectful and overly formal than it is to go the other way if you're kind of on the fence. Or the other way, if you can't remember, just use tú and you're going to be fine. Because if you can't remember the conjugations for usted, or you can't remember how to use it properly, just use tú. Just use whatever comes to your mind, then you're able to actually remember. So hopefully that little rant there, that little piece there made sense. Okay, so these are all the words. We've learned these now. Yo soy, tú eres, él, ella es, nosotros somos, ellos, ellas son. We have ustedes son as well. We have usted es as in you are, and these are all the forms of ser in what we call the grammatical term for it is called the present tense. present tense. I hope you can read this a little bit small on the blackboard. I wrote it right in the bottom corner here, right down here. Present tense. Present tense means stuff that's happening right now, like currently in this moment. So I'll say them all again in Spanish. Soy, eres. I'll say each one twice, actually. So we have soy, eres, eres, es, somos, somos. We have son. We have son again. We have es again as well. So soy, eres, es, somos, son. Those are all the ones. Those are all the words we have here. Make sense? Okay. If you have any questions, I see there's some people watching this live. So feel free to type them in the live chat if you have any questions. I'm just going to make a quick note for myself in the Google Doc. And then we'll continue on with some other new things. And then we did... okay. All right. Fantastico. Shall we continue with some new stuff? Just made some personal notes for myself in the Google Doc with all the notes in it. So, all right, let's continue. So we've learned all of these. We are now complete with the verb ser in the present tense. Let's look at estar. We've already looked at estar for a bunch of it, but not all of them. So what does estar mean? Do you remember? Estar. Do you remember what this word means? Estar means what? To be, right? To be. Just like ser, the same meaning, right? Estar is also to be, but we only use it for what? What are our main times? We use it for locations. And then we use it for feelings and emotions. These are kind of the two major situations where we use this verb estar, right? So let's look at what we've learned for this. We've learned yo estoy. We've learned tú estás. We've learned él, ella, está. These are the three that we've learned so far, right? I am, you are, he, she is, right? Yo estoy, tú estás, él, ella está. We've learned these three. Okay? Let's look at the rest of them. What if we want to say we are? We say nosotros. Nosotros estamos. Nosotros estamos. Nosotros estamos. What if we want to say you guys are? Sorry, let's not do that. Let's do they are. We say ellos or ellas están. Right? Ellos and ellas están. Yo estoy, I am. Tú estás, you are. Él, ella está, he and she is. Nosotros or nosotras, I should write that. Nosotras as well. Nosotros and nosotras estamos. Ellos están. They are. For you guys are, we say ustedes están. Right? Ustedes están. Right on here. You guys are. And then we have our final one. We have you are, but more formal. Usted es. Or sorry, está. Sorry. Usted está. Okay. You'll notice something, and this is going to work all. And this is, oh, sorry, one more thing. Then this is the present tense as well. Present tense, like we saw, this is the grammatical term. These are present tense conjugations for the verb estar. Okay. So I'll point out a couple things. You're going to notice ellos, ellas, and ustedes always have the same conjugation. Están, están. This is consistent throughout Spanish for every single verb. They're not always going to be están, están. It'll be different words, but these two words will always be the same. So like they eat, right? They eat, ellos comen. You guys eat is also ellos comen. They live, ellos, ellas viven. You guys live, ustedes viven. Or something like, I don't know, they speak, ellos, ellos hablan. You guys speak, ustedes hablan. They're always the same. So these two are always the same. The other two that are always the same is usted and él en ella. So he, she always has the same conjugation as the formal word for you. It's a bit of a mind twist because you're like, wait, you has the same as he and she? Interesting. But it is a thing that happens. So for example, he is Canadian. Él, or sorry, not he's Canadian. He is in Canada. Él está en Canadá. If I'm saying you are in Canada and I'm choosing to use the word usted, I would say usted está en Canadá. Right? They're the same. They're always the same, these two. Make sense? Bueno. Any live viewers, you're welcome to type any questions if you have any. I see some people in the Google Doc. I see a couple of you here. So hello, hello. No need to look at the Google Doc as of right now, but you're welcome to keep it open. All righty. I'm going to add a note for myself. Listo. Okay. So we've seen these. I'm going to clear the screen here. If you want to pause it and have a quick look at it one more time before I clear it, feel free to do so. Okay. So let's look at a little bit of practice, okay? Some practice and some different examples. So if I want to say, for example, we are Canadian. Oops, I spelled Canadian wrong. Canadian. Right? If I want to say we are Canadian, right? What do we say? We say an optional nosotros. Feel free to pause the video if you don't want to hear the answer and you want to think about it first. Optional nosotros. Then we have somos. Oh, what happened there? My nail must have been dragging across the thing. It made a big weird line on it. Let's rewrite that. Nosotros is optional, but we can say it. Somos. Do you remember the word for Canadian? We have nosotros somos. We're off to a good start. We are. Then how do we say Canadian? Do you remember? Canadiense. Now, we have canadiense, but there's one more thing we have to do. Do you remember from the last hello more people who just joined the live stream? Hello. If you remember from the last lesson, when we have something that's plural, right? Here we have more than one person. Would you agree that when you say we, you can't say we if there's only one of you? I can't say today we're happy, and you're looking at the screen like there's only one of you, Azren. What do you mean we're happy? So we is the multiple people. You'd agree? So remember, when we have multiple people, we also have to pluralize our adjective. So Canadian is our adjective. How do we pluralize it? Do you remember? We add an S. So we say, optional nosotros, but if you want to say it, nosotros somos canadienses, right? If you want to say American, for example, instead, what do we say? Americano. Now, again, it's plural, so it's not americano, but we say somos americanos with an S. Somos americanos. Does that make sense? Let's do another example. Let's say I'm talking to you guys. I'm talking to all of you. And I want to say, how are you guys doing? How are y'all doing? How are you all doing? Oops, that's a weird question mark. I want to say, how are you all doing? We know how to say, how are you, right? We know how to say, how are you doing, right? We simply say, ¿cómo estás, right? ¿Cómo estás? This we already know. We've seen ¿cómo estás a million times already, right? What about how are you guys doing? How are you all? You all, you plural. We say ¿cómo stays the same. ¿Cómo doesn't change at all. But we say ¿cómo están? ¿Cómo están? Why do we say están? Do you remember? Well, let's review. I'm addressing everybody watching the video, right? Everybody watching this. So if I'm addressing you all, if you look at your notes, if you go back, rewind, look at what you wrote down in the notes, okay? When we have you guys, what's the word for you guys? Ustedes, right? So anytime we have ustedes, it is always followed by están, not estás, not estoy, always están, because I'm referring to all of you. So, ¿cómo están? How are you guys? Excelente. Let's do some more. Even if you guys actually, this is a good time, everybody go into the Google Doc in the description below, okay? Everyone go into the Google Doc, and I'd like you to scroll up in the Google Doc all the way up to page, looks like it is page 14. Yeah, page 14. Page 14 of the Google Doc is the page that has a car, right? It has a picture of a car. It's a 7th photo. There's a picture of a car. And directly underneath, there is an 8th photo, which is a picture of a party. There's a party. There's a girl holding up like a heart with her hands. Looks like there's maybe a live concert or something like that. Do you guys see that? So how would you say, if you want to say they are happy? There's lots of people in this photo, right? They are happy. What would we say? Okay. Feel free to pause and think about it. Once you've thought about that, please come back to the YouTube screen. I'm going to continue writing on the blackboard. What would we say? We have an optional ellos. Then we say what? Están. Actually, I'm going to write a sentence here. I want you to tell me if it's correct. Okay, ellos están. Okay, here's a sentence. You tell me if this is correct. Is this sentence correct? Ellos están contento. Is this correct? I'm trying to say they are happy. That's what I'm trying to say. Is this correct? Okay, feel free to hit pause, look at it, think about it. You tell me, and then think about it for a while. The answer is, now that you've unpaused and you're back, hello, you're back from the unpause. This is incorrect. Ellos is correct. They. In that photo, it's tough to tell, but I assume, I'm just going to look at the photo right now. I assume with that number of people, there's guys and girls. There's a mixed genders in that room. So we're going to use this word we're going to use ellos for they. Because remember, ellos is used for they if we have a room of mixed genders, guys and girls, or if they're all guys, right? So ellos están is correct. They are. We're talking about a feeling or emotion, so we're going to say están. We are not going to use son, right? Son is used for everything else. Están is for our emotions and feelings. So it's not son. This is wrong. So están is correct. Contento is correct for happy, but we're missing something, aren't we? There's more than one person, so we need to add an S. Contentos. Ellos están contentos, right? Let's say in that same photo with the people partying, what if they're all, I don't know, they're all American, and you're like, oh, they're American. How would we say that? Feel free to hit pause and think about it. I'm going to write a sentence here. I want you to pretend, for this example's sake, that everybody in that photo is a female. Everybody's a girl. Everybody. Okay? And that's the they that we're referring to. What do we say? We say, I'm going to write a sentence. You tell me if this is correct. And you want to say, they are happy. Okay, there we go. You tell me if this is correct. Ellos son contentos. Okay, feel free to think about it. You tell me if this is correct or not. Pause it if you need extra time. Okay, tell me if this is correct. If that picture is only females, and I want to say, oh, they're all really happy. Is this correct? Okay, so the answer is very incorrect. This is like super wrong. I'm going to give you a hint. There's some different errors. I'm going to underline all the errors. There's an error here. There's an error with this whole word, actually. This word is wrong. And then we have an error here. So there's 3 errors in this sentence. Do you see them? I've underlined them to give you a hint. This is wrong. This whole word is wrong. And then the ending of here is just wrong. Do you see them? Let me explain. Okay, feel free to hit pause if you want to think about it on your own and not just be given the answer. This word is not ellos. It should be, what should it be? It should be ellas. Ellas, right? Because I said they're all female. Ellas is the word for they when it's all a group of females, right? What's wrong with this word? Well, son is wrong because we're talking about them being happy. Happiness is a feeling or emotion. So this is wrong. We don't use son. What do we use instead? This is wrong. We use están. Están. Ellas están. Right? Now, we have an issue here too. Contentos, we have an S, which is good. The S is correct because we have a group of people. So this is not wrong. We're good here. But we have a problem with this O. Do you remember when we're talking about things that are feminine, right? We make it an A. So it's not contentos, but contentas. Ellas están contentas. Ellas están contentas. Not ellos son contentos. No, that's wrong if I want to say they are, those girls, they are happy. We have a very quiet live audience today. I see some people watching, not too many people typing in the chat. If you're feeling brave and you just want to give me a thumbs up or something to be like, hey, yes, I'm following. No, I'm not. Ooh, this is complicated. This will help me for if there's extra stuff that I should be spending more time on that maybe I didn't cover as clearly as I should. So if you are feeling brave, you want to type something in the live chat, I would appreciate it. I think it'll help some people out. Just give me something. Yeah, it makes sense. Kind of doesn't make sense. Muy bien. Let's do a little bit more practice. A little bit more practice here, okay? What if I wanted to say, let's actually give you a real life physical example. I want to use some more props in these videos and not just the blackboard. Okay, let me use some props. Let me grab some stuff out of my pencil case. Okay. Here, we have lots of different pens, right? Do you guys see this? Lots of pens in my hand. This is actually a pencil. Let's take that one out. These are all, this is the marker. Doesn't matter. Okay, we have some, doesn't matter. Okay, now these are, now these are all pens. We have cuatro. We have four. We have cuatro. Okay, four right here. Coincidentally, this is not how I planned it, but let's go with this. They're all black, right? So how would we say these pens, right, these pens are black? How is that something we say? How is that something? How would we say that? Now, I don't think we've covered the word for pen, so let's go through the word for pen. Let me just put these somewhere. I'm going to type a note for myself in the Google Doc as well. Actually, pen is an interesting word in Spanish. What's funny about pen is that the words for pen and pencil vary per country quite a bit. It's notorious, but I'll teach you a word for pen. Lapicero. Lapicero is a word, one word we have for pen. As I said, pen is actually notoriously bad for having lots of words, like a crazy number of words, depending on what country you're in. I think in Spain, they say bolígrafo. Maybe I'll write some of these out. Bolígrafo is a word they use in, I believe, in Spain, but please don't quote me on that. I'm not sure, but it's another word for pen. We have esfero, but I don't know how to spell it. I've only heard it said. Let me look up the spelling. Es un esfero. Is it with an? Yes, there we go. I think I found it. Un esfero. Yes, we have un esfero. Esfero is a word for pen. There's lots of different words for pen depending on region. Esfero is the one I learned most recently. I have a Colombian friend who uses this word for pen. Yeah, there's lots of different options, but here's 3 different options for pen. So you want to say these pens, let's just stick with, you can pick whatever you want, but pick one of these 3. You want to say these pens are black. What would we say? These is a word we learned last week. Okay. Pen is masculine. Pens are masculine in Spanish. That's important to know. What would we say? Feel free to hit pause and think about it. I'll write it on this blackboard. So we say estos lapiceros son negros. Estos lapiceros son negros. We have our main eager beaver, Tessa, in the chat, who said hello. Estos lapiceros son negros, right? This is correct. These pens are black. I'll point out a few things. Notice lapiceros, we added an S, right? Because there's more than one. Negros, we added an S as well, because adjectives also take an S when we pluralize. We used son because, well, we always use son is a form of ser, which we've learned, right? Form of ser, right? Form of ser. We always use ser, except for feelings, emotions, and for locations. We're not, black is definitely not a feeling location. Black is definitely not a black is not a feeling, and black is not a location. So we have to use son. And then we said estos because it's plural, there's more than one. And this is the word for these when we're talking about a masculine thing, right? Hope that makes sense. Okay, let me give you some more exercises here. Let's do some more practice. I'll give you some different sentences. You tell me if they're correct or not. Okay, let's do, I'm going to open up the adjective list here. Perfect. We're going to say the following. Estos mujeres, or sorry, no. Estos, no, I changed my mind. I don't do that one. I'll do this instead. Estas hombres Estás, estas hombres, estás alta. Okay. Now, you tell me, where are the mistakes in here? There's many mistakes. There are one, 2, 3 mistakes. First of all, what am I trying to say? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say these men are tall. Okay, these men are tall. That's what we're trying to say. So what's my mistakes? Feel free to hit pause and let me know what they are. Okay, I'll give you some hints. We have a mistake here. We have a mistake with this word altogether, and then we have a mistake here. So I've underlined it. I've underlined all the errors. There's a mistake with this letter here. There's a mistake with this entire word, and we have a mistake with this A. Okay? So the mistakes we have, first of all, it should not be estas, but it should be what? Estos. Why is it estos? Because estos is the word for these when we're referring to things that are masculine. Men are, well, it's male. So we have to use estos and not estas. Estas is just wrong. This is the wrong verb. Well, this is wrong in every way, shape, and form. This is completely wrong. Number one, estas means you are. So literally what I've said right now is, these men, you are tall. It's almost like two incomplete sentences almost, or one incomplete sentence and one complete one, right? Estos hombres, estás alta? No, estas is completely wrong, right? So it's not estas, not at all, definitely not estas. What's the word we use instead? We have to say son, right? Because we're not going to say, yeah, son. This is the word for are in most circumstances in Spanish. Unless, of course, we're talking about feelings, emotions, or locations, in which case we say están. It's not alta either, because we're hombres. Alta's for one woman. We want masculine and plural, more than one. What do we say? Not alta, but how about alto? Will this be correct? Estos hombres son alto. Nope, we're missing something. It's plural. There's more than one guy. So we need an S. Estos hombres son altos. This is a logical place to do a little bit of a pause. And actually, I just realized I forgot to write timestamps. Oh, shoot. I forgot to do I was going to write timestamps as we went. I forgot to write when we started the review or the practice with Ser and Estar. That's okay. I'll write this timestamp here. So 103:11 timestamp. So 103:11, end of practice with Ser and Estar. Perfect. If anyone wants to give me a timestamp, if anyone's feeling like really generous, who's actually watching this live or anything, if you want to just do me a favor and figure out where the timestamp is that I started talking about the different forms of estar and ser, that'd be really appreciated. If not, totally fine. I'll just do it afterwards. It's not the end of the world. Now, this is a good point to pause and make an interesting observation or teaching point that I think can help you guys. So when it comes to learning Spanish, there's going to be more and more grammar as we go, right? There's going to be more and more conjugations as we go. There's going to be more and more grammar. There's always going to be more grammar and things that come. One of the things that you might want to consider for yourself is how much you focus on those grammatical points, right? Some of you are maybe very keen, or perhaps you're very interested in having really good grammar, and that matters to you. In which case, by all means, try and get it perfect. Try and really nail it. Like, do your best and really try and absorb it to the best of your ability. Some of you might just be learning Spanish simply to travel abroad, simply to go to, maybe you just want to go and spend a month or something in Mexico or in Spain, or you're just that's all you're really trying to do. That's all you want to do, and you don't care if it's really perfect per se, right? If that's your position, then perhaps you don't put as much mental stress on yourself for getting every single grammatical point. I know plenty of people who are very comfortable in Spanish. They understand a lot, most or everything of what people say. They're able to say basically whatever they want to say, and they're making grammatical mistakes all the time, but they're still understood. They still have friends. They're still able to function in society. So if something's ever really confusing, that's totally fine. You don't have to try and get it immediately. You might even say, you know what, I'm not going to worry about that too much. That's actually more than acceptable. It's actually super fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes there's certain things you don't want to ignore. There are certain grammatical points that are really important or things like that. I'll try my best as the course goes to really make sure I say, hey, this is super important. Don't mess this up. I'll try my best to do that. But if you ever have questions, just ask me, like, hey, Azren, I really struggle with this point. Is it okay is it okay to not worry about it or just kind of mess it up sometimes? Just ask me and I'll tell you. I'll let you know if it's I'll let you know. So beauty. So we have another timestamp here, 106.12. Let's write that down. 106.12. End of saying that don't have to be perfect with grammar. Okay, awesome sauce. Let's jump into a different topic here, and then we can finish this. We can finish off this this video. Okay. So Tessa's asking, like all conjugation on the board. Yeah. So Tessa, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out when did I just start going through what I'm trying. The timestamp I'm trying to find, Tessa, is right when I started, like the exact moment I started to just talk about the ser and estar in this video. Exactly when that starts would be great. So, okay, so let's go through something that's really useful and really easy. Really useful and very easy, and you'll be able to start using it very, very quickly, and it's going to be, I think you guys will like this, which is kind of a pun, actually, because we're going to start talking about how do you talk about likes and dislikes in Spanish. Okay, likes and dislikes is what we'll start talking about here. It's really easy. It's not that hard. There's just a couple of little phrases you have to know. And it's not that hard at all, and you can start using it immediately. So if you want to say I like in Spanish, it's really easy. You simply say me gusta. Me gusta. Be careful, not me gusta. I know in English we pronounce this word me, but in Spanish we pronounce this word me. Me gusta. Me gusta means I like. If you want to say you like, we say te gusta. Me gusta, te gusta. Easy peasy. So I could say, let's do some examples with this. Let's learn a couple of things that you might like or that you might enjoy doing. Okay. Hang on here. All right. Cool. So I'm just going to open up a list of verbs on my computer. Okay. Oopsies. Here we go. I've got a list of common verbs. So we might say, me gusta bailar, right? So me gusta. Oh my goodness, I can't write today. There we go. Gusta bailar. Me gusta bailar. I like to dance. I wouldn't worry, by the way, of what me gusta means like individually, because it just doesn't work that way. It's really hard to break it down like, oh, me means this and gusta. No, it doesn't work that way. You just remember me gusta as an entire phrase. It'll be way easier, right? So me gusta bailar, right? I like to dance. So bailar, by the way, is dance. Bailar. Okay. What about, let's look at this verb list here. Me gusta. Oh, yes. This is me for sure. Me gusta hablar. Me gusta hablar. Hablar is talk, right? So I like to talk. Me gusta hablar, right? Maybe you like to sing. Me gusta cantar. Me gusta cantar. I like to sing. Cantar is sing. Right? What about, let's look at another verb. Why don't we look at something like, oh, a lot of people like to eat, right? Do you like to eat? Me gusta comer. Me gusta comer. I like to eat. Maybe you like, let's make a little bit of a longer sentence. Maybe you like to live in whatever city you live in. So I might say, me gusta vivir en Canadá. Me gusta, vivir is to live, like when you live in a country or live in a city. Me gusta vivir en Canadá. I like to live in Canada. Right? Let me write some of these on the Google Docs. So we have these new verbs and such. So we have bailar is to dance. Hablar is to talk or to speak. Cantar is to sing. I think we've seen cantar before. Comer is to eat. Vivir is to live. Okay. Fantastico. Let's do a few more. Why don't we say, let's see this verb list on the computer. Me gusta. Ooh, I like this one. Actually, I don't like that one. Me gusta. Oh, this is true for me. Me gusta enseñar. Right? Me gusta enseñar. In fact, I'm going to add one more word to that sentence. Me gusta enseñar español. Me gusta enseñar español. I like. Enseñar is to teach. I like to teach Spanish. In your situation, you might say, me gusta aprender español. Right? You might say, me gusta aprender español. I like to learn Spanish. Another thing you might say, which is similar, is me gusta estudiar español. Me gusta estudiar español. I like to study Spanish. Estudiar, right? Lots of new words. Estudiar, aprender, enseñar, right? Let's do a couple more. What about, let's do, these are all boring. I want to find a fun one. Oh, no, let's not do that. Me gusta, none of these are very good. Oh, there's a good one. Some of you might like this. Me gusta correr. Me gusta correr. Correr means to run. I like to run. Okay. Let me add these into the Google Docs. You guys have them for your notes. So we have enseñar. Enseñar. Enseñar is to teach. Aprender is to learn. Estudiar is to study. Estudiar. We have a correr, which is to run. Now, what if you want to say I don't like? I don't like to dance. I don't like to sing. I don't like to eat. I don't like to whatever. It's super easy. This is what's amazing about Spanish. It's so easy to make those don't sentences. Oh, it's amazing. So all we say is we stick a no in front of the whole thing. No me gusta bailar. We simply stick a no in front of the whole sentence. No me gusta bailar. No, I like to dance. I don't like to dance. What if you don't like to sing? What do you say then? No me gusta cantar. Right? No me gusta cantar. What if you don't like to study Spanish? Maybe you're doing it as a necessity, right? Then you say, no me gusta aprender. Well, aprender is learn, but we can do that. Español. No me gusta aprender español. I don't like to learn Spanish, right? It's not fun. No es divertido. Maybe it's not. Maybe you don't like it, which is totally respectable. So likes and dislikes are quite simple, right? So if I want to ask you, ¿te gusta bailar? ¿Te gusta cantar? ¿Te gusta, right? ¿Te gusta is do you like? ¿Te gusta? ¿Te gusta? So if I ask you, do you like to dance? Really easy. All we say, ¿te gusta bailar? Right? ¿Te gusta bailar? Do you like to dance? Or ¿te gusta correr? ¿Te gusta correr? Do you like to run? Easy peasy. Nothing super hard, is it? Likes and dislikes are real simple in Spanish. Not super complicated. Now, what if you like a specific object and not an activity? Notice everything we've done so far is liking activities, right? Certain verbs, certain things we can do. What if you like an object? You like, I don't know, you like this pen. I actually do like this little stylus / pen. I really like it, right? Not really that different. Me gusta este lapicero. Right? I like this pen. Me gusta este lapicero. If I didn't like it, again, not hard at all. No me gusta. Just take a no in front of the whole thing. No me gusta este lapicero. Easy peasy. Really, really simple. The only small caveat, tiny thing, not difficult, but just a small thing to be aware. If you're talking about multiple objects, let's say I've got 3 pens in my hand, and I don't like any of these 3 pens. These 3 pens suck, and I'm like, I don't like these pens, okay? Then we have to make a very small change, right? Then I'd say, no me gustan estos lapiceros. So if you're talking about objects and there's more than one, We say no me gustan with an N at the end. To make this, so basically the plural of gustar, of this gusta, is gustan. So if we're talking about more than one objects, we say gustan. Let me show you some examples. And this is only, by the way, for objects, like nouns, okay? So I might say, me gusta esta persona, using Tessa's thing in the chat, actually. So, me gusta esta persona. I like this person. I want to say I like these people. Me gustan, with an N, estas personas. Me gusta esta persona. I like one person. Or this person, sorry. Me gustan estas personas. I like these people, plural, more than one. Another example. No me gusta este pastel. I don't like this cake. But let's say there's like 3 cakes on the table, and I'm like, I don't like any of these cakes. No me gustan estos pasteles. No me gustan estos pasteles. So gustan becomes pluralized, right? Estos becomes pluralized for these, and then pasteles. We have an es at the end. We mentioned this, I believe I mentioned this in the last video. I think I did. If not, I'll say it now. Normally, most of the time, to make an object like pastel, right? To make something plural, normally you just add an s at the end. Like in persona versus personas, we just added an s. Do you see that? Persona, no s. This one, we simply added an s to make it plural. Pastel, we added in what? Es. This is because is this how it works? Yes. If a noun ends in a consonant, we must add an es and not just an s. So for example, pastel up here, pasteles here, right? If something ended in an n, like nación, right? Nación means a nation, like I love this nation, but naciones, es at the end, naciones to make it plural, right? So es gets added if a word ends in a consonant. Does that make sense? So a great sentence to kind of memorize. This is actually more of a basic phrase, to be honest. In future lessons, we'll kind of break it down and we'll be able to understand in more depth kind of what's happening, but I can at least give you the phrase. Que, actually, you know what? I think you might even have the knowledge to understand this or to really understand what's going on. It's not that complicated. Que te gusta hacer en tu tiempo libre. ¿Qué te gusta hacer en tu tiempo libre? There's some words and stuff you don't know, but it's actually pretty straightforward. I think you guys we've done enough Spanish for us to go through this and for it to not be crazy difficult. ¿Qué? Have we learned ¿qué? Let me think. Have we done anything with ¿qué? I don't think so. ¿Qué means what? We haven't done question words yet, but ¿qué means what? Okay? What? What's te gusta? You know te gusta. You like. So what? You like. Hacer means to do, right? So what? You like to do. in means in. We've seen this before. In your tiempo libre means free time. So what do you like to do in your free time? ¿Qué te gusta hacer en tu tiempo libre? Right? I'm going to write that in the Google Docs. We have that. So words and phrases. We have ¿qué te gusta hacer en tu tiempo libre? What do you like to do your free time? Right? So to answer this, it's not that difficult. You would say, feel free to pause and think about it if you want to. En mi tiempo libre me gusta. En mi tiempo libre me gusta. Whatever you like to do. Me gusta, we've learned a lot. We've learned quite a few. Me gusta bailar, me gusta cantar, me gusta cocinar. I don't think we did cocinar. I'll give it to you. Cocinar. A mí no me gusta cocinar. Cocinar is to cook. Cocinar is to cook. Make sure that's in the Google Doc as well. Cocinar. Right? To cook. So what do you like to do? And that is kind of where we're going to finish this video. And I'm going to give you some homework based on this. Okay? Homework. First of all, you should always review the notes. Always nice to review them. Reread them. Make sure you understand. Make sure they're in your brain. So feel free to go into the Google Doc and review everything. It'll all be there. For the live viewers, it's not quite there right now. I'm going to type some of the stuff up right after we finish, but 99% of you are watching this recorded, so you'll see it there. So review and reread the things we've learned so far. And then I want you to send me we're going to do something that we've already done. It's an exercise I've already given as homework, but we're going to add on to it. I want you to send me a self-introduction. Again, okay? I know it's a little repetitive, but trust me, the repetition is useful. I want you to include, please include your name, where you're from, okay, where you're from. I'd like you to tell me a little bit about your family. So I want you to tell me, we haven't done a lot on family, actually. We haven't done too much. Just tell me a few things you have. A few things you have, or family members if you want to, anything you want. A few things you have, a few things you can do. And then I want you to tell me some things that, your job, of course. I want to know your job. And I want to know a few hobbies that you have. I want to know a few things that you like to do in your free time. If there's some words you don't know, you're welcome to ask me. You're welcome to look it up in a dictionary. You're welcome to do so. Maybe we've already learned a lot of the words, and you can use some words that we already have done. And perhaps I'll even add one more. Tell me a few things you don't like. A few things you don't like to do. Okay. As for always, please send this via Snapchat or Instagram, preferably, as a text message and a voice message. Facebook is also an option. I just can't send you a voice message back. I can only send text messages. Okay. To wrap this whole lesson up, I will do a short little I'll do this assignment as an example. So I'll literally do this homework right now in front of you. So, hola, me llamo Azren, soy de Canadá y soy profesor de español, francés e inglés. Tengo muchas cosas. Tengo un lapicero, tengo una mamá, tengo una hermanita. Hermanita means a younger sister. Tengo una computadora, tengo un carro. Puedo hacer muchas cosas también. Puedo hablar muchos idiomas. Idiomas means languages. So puedo hablar muchos idiomas. Puedo hablar inglés, francés, español, gujarati y chino mandarín. Puedo enseñar idiomas. Y no puedo cocinar. No puedo cocinar. Oh, I didn't say things you can't do. Sorry. Things you like to do in your free time. En mi tiempo libre, me gusta mirar películas o ver películas, watch movies. Me gusta dormir, which is sleep. Me gusta comer. Me gusta muchas cosas. No me gusta cocinar. No me gusta cocinar. No puedo cocinar. No me gusta hacer tarea administrativa. So I don't like to do administrative work. Y no me gusta, what else do I not like to do? No me gusta, comprar ropa, buy clothes. I don't like clothes shopping. So there's a few things that I like and don't like. So let me see here. In live chat, Tessa says, en mi tiempo libre me gusta cocinar. Yeah, but Tessa, you spelled it wrong. En mi tiempo libre. En mi tiempo libre me gusta cocinar pasteles. That's correct. No te gusta este pastel. Tessa, you said tengo muy pasteles. It should be muchos pasteles. I have a lot of cakes. Tú puedes comer. Me pasteles should be mis pasteles son deliciosos. Mis is spelled M-I-S. We haven't covered that, but there it is for you. Mis pasteles. Okay. Bueno, thanks for watching, guys. And we'll chat soon. Bye. Adios. Ciao.